pleased with that outcome here. So,
Also, they see Behemoth and Voidbeast. Voidbeast is probably going to be jungle because Behemoth is mostly suicide. So Tremble can actually just solo against Behemoth if they really want to, and then they can do a dual mid with Riptide too, and they can probably win with Riptide and dual mid lane, and they will farm jungle. So
yeah.
looking at the rest so far, I would see that Zlapped is winning by a large margin.
Definitely, you could argue that here. Riptide is, again, another hero. We really have kind of shifted a little bit as far as a lot of newer heroes. I mean, the balance patch, as you would expect, definitely brought that. I mean, we're sitting here talking about Riptide and how he's now somewhat of a popular hero. Deadlift kind of up and coming. Hellbringer, wild. So, it's definitely things are changing. So, it's fun to realize that now.
But that's also why it's been a while since I've really said, okay, this is the meta. We had the jungle meta with Keeper, Tempest, Ophelia, Parasite. That those heroes were picked every game, and then there was tank meta, and there was tri-lane meta. We could always say that was a specific way you should play the game. But right now there really isn't. There's so many different heroes. There's so many different things you can do. There's only a limited amount of bans. So there's always gonna be a hero that fits into if you want to push or whatever you want to do. There's obviously some heroes that are better at it than others, but there's so many different things, and I also think that's why you don't see one team be on top all the time, because there's new strats all the time and new ideas on how to lane, and you learn something all the time, and there's so many heroes that it's hard to know how they interact with each other. Are you actually ahead now? Are you comfortable farming? Are you not? So there's many aspects on the game right now.
And that with the competition, as far as the teams, and not knowing who's going to win is obviously. It really is a fun spot to be here as far as a spectator goes for sure, and I'm sure as a player even. So, Zephyronte is going to get his hands on Deadwood, at least that's for currently. Of course, could swap up, but we do see Deadwood picked up here. Obviously, the Voodoo Jester before the bans came out, we didn't really mention too much of, but they get some aggression, a middle hero very likely. Now, knowing that they're going up against Riptide, wonder how. Do you think Deadwood is something that can compete?
I think they might want to contest it with something like Deadwood Voodoo Jester there. I'm not really sure how they want to. I still think Riptide is just stronger with any kind of support with him. That he will do more damage than. But they still have a guaranteed grasp. So if they can be fine in mid lane and then maybe rotate a level 6 Warbeast over, if they can wait that long to going for a kill, I think they could do quite well. Mm-hmm. It really comes down to if Zlapped is going to make the rotation first on his Parasite or not. That's assuming it's a dual mid from both sides.
Yeah. There's that Andromeda coming out as a support. Obviously, a support that really has, just as we're kind of going over, just in general, a lot of shifts. I feel like supports has been one of the most obvious ones. Some we just don't see anymore. Like Torture, really, off the bat comes to mind. We used to see him all the time. We don't anymore, so another case of that.
Yeah. I believe the hero is not that great as a support. Mainly because if you want to deal your damage, you have to be near the target you want to deal damage to, and that usually results in you getting two-shotted by whoever carry you're going on. So I just think the hero is overall bad, honestly. That's my opinion. I know a lot of people disagree and think Torture is good, but I just think that the entire skill set of the hero is based on having farm. Mm-hmm. And if you go straight up, as I said before, to anyone you want to deal damage to, you're just in an awful position.
Final pick here for our Legion side of 2-0, 15 seconds remaining, so putting all the way to the finish line here, but of course makes sense. Might as well use as much time as possible. Something we have talked about. It's nothing against Squirry and everything or anything like that, but it's lining up their success. One of the biggest things they changed going into Cycle 4 was they did pick up a new player in Zephyronte here, but then also Pexu took over the drafting role. So, maybe a couple of those things coming into play as far as their success here. And now Sandwraith is that final pick, actually. Sandwraith final pick. Wow. Not going to see that much now.
So I think they're going to sack Deadwood mid. He's not going to have a great time, I believe. If Andromeda's top, he will get something. I think he still has a lot of auto attack damage. But any kind of rotation, and when he's standing in the water with that slow from Riptide, should set up a kill on him. So he has to be constant aware of that. And then I think Sandwraith will have his farm, and so will Warbeast. So if they can stay alive on Behemoth and Deadwood until they get the blinks, I think they will be in a good spot, but it's really hard to stay alive for that long of the game against something like a Parasite and a Tremble ultimate.
Yes, it is. So that goes back to the movement of Haxorn on Tremble here and his involvement that he can be, again, all over the place, why he's definitely considered that god tier of carry especially. on the scene. But Sync Esports going to get to run it here, especially as the Hellborn team. Again, a little bit of a surprising thing, but that's where you say if 2-0, I mean, if they don't win this game, then that's the first thing you're no doubt going to look at is, well, that they gave up the Tremble as the first pick on the Hellborn side. So here we go.
Yeah. Now I talked about already that they do not have the early game ganks. Like they're not in their favor at this point. So they really have to stay alive and then not die and not hopefully gift up too many towers, and then they can make something happen after that 10-minute mark or something.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see how it works out here. But I favor Zlapped's draft so far just because they have the early game aggression and they have late game too.
See Warby scouting out the Wolves initially as far as the bottom lane goes, but we don't see any aggression from Sync Esports, so neither side going to interact here off the battle. The Parasite, he's looking like he's positioning, or maybe they're just simply getting information. Yeah, he's going to end back in his own jungle, it looks like. But waiting to see what's going on here. Pause comes out.
Scouting out any potential voids, or even Congo attempt or something crazy. So yeah, just scouting, getting information what they can.
I guess you're not doing a whole lot in the beginning of the game anyways. It's a Parasite, so you're allowed to go elsewhere a little bit before you need to be at your camp.
Yeah, you might as well, as long as you don't put yourself in a risky spot where you could actually be ganked and give up a first blood, potentially.
Yeah, so again, the Sync team, like we talked about too, I mean, not only just upcoming teams like a 2-0, but then a lot of these roster changes have also kind of helped, you know, where we're at in the competitive scene from teams like Fresh and, of course, Sync Esports. And they weren't even known as Sync for a little bit there, known as X-Sync even, but I mean, officially, you know, it's making a point, I think, too, that, you know, obviously Zlapped is really at the beginning of the Sync organization, and he's kind of a main man behind it, and he wanted to wait for a team that he knew that he could trust. Like they had a solidified 5-man roster that, you know, was going to be good once again, and before he picked back up that name clearly. And clearly he feels with that here, and hey, Cycle 4 did show that. They were obviously very close to taking the grand finals even, but you guys at Eva Corporation, of course, did it in the end. But getting second place for your first cycle as a new team is pretty impressive nonetheless. So
yeah, it is, for sure. And I think they have high expectations for themselves as well. If they lose games, they will look them over, and I think they will discuss them the same way we do.
Yeah.
Like, we always believe that we have to misplay to lose the game. Like, we have to have made some mistake, whether it's draft or individual plays or even calls of decision making. So there's always something to look at. Ooh, that water frep is just out of range. Oh, that's gonna hurt them here. It's unfortunate. So close for Zlapped here, because now they don't know that they know.
That really is unfortunate, and they are roaming in here. You do see the Rev Ward blocking this hard camp, so he'll have to settle for a Wolf Commander here if he wants a creep, which obviously isn't the greatest for a Parasite, but going aggressive in the first place is also something here.
It is, but they thought that they're really sneaky. Usually Andromeda's top pulling or something when Behemoth is doing this, so they could have expected him Andro to still be there and Parasite, but they're trying to go for this sneaky gank down bottom that should not have been expected had it not been for the water side here.
Well, see, this is the thing though. It almost kind of worked there, to be honest, but in the end, Sandwraith is going to be fine. The Acid Cocktail from Voodoo Jester helping. You see he's Zlapped in the Pastula. Again, didn't really have the great... I mean, Pastula's actually not bad, to be fair, especially with two other teammates here. It could have been pretty big, but...
I think Amaraxis could have landed the stun if Zlapped killed the creep, because then it doesn't slow his allies, but he does not get experience and gold for the creep then. That's the downside of it, so you have to make that trade-off, and he wasn't able, or he didn't want to, it didn't assess that he could have gotten the kill there, so...
Oh, so you mean if you activate the ability rather than...
Exactly, then you don't get the gold, but it does not slow your team or allies, it only slows the opponents. That's the thing about it.
There you go. That's some insight for sure. I definitely didn't know that. I'm sure several other people may not have known that. So, bottom lane again, though. Here we go. Again, a Wolf Commander, so not really any crowd control, but he's providing some amp damage for the team at least, and he comes out with some auto attacks now, and it is going to be enough. Zibbe gets credit for that Bloodlust on Moraxis. So, it was just a matter of time, it felt like. I mean, this is a pseudo trial and against just essentially two heroes, as Warbeast obviously isn't even anywhere close by. They eventually get him.
That's really unfortunate for Sandwraith. If he was able to live there, I think they would be in a decent spot. But it comes down to the draft here too. They don't have anyone they can rotate over to help here. It's almost like Voodoo Jester has to rotate mid to force an Andromeda rotation, but that's not even that great either. At least Deadwood and Behemoth have one-on-ones, but they shouldn't do too well in those. The Riptide should do a little bit better, and Tremble should do a lot better than Behemoth up top.
Okay, you look at all the rev wards, and I guess even ward of sights in the Legion jungle here. Between the two teams, for that matter, it's just kind of funny seeing all these little dots on the mini-map here. Bottom lane again, and Sandwraith, is he actually dead this time as well? He's going to try to go through the trees here. It's going to barely work for him, so good positioning on his part. Realizing they couldn't chase, but he's still heavily harassed.
Yes, and it doesn't really cost Hellbourne that much. Andro still has 50% mana. Zipper is full HP mana here. I'm assuming he's gonna get the bottom rune uncontested as well, because Zlapped is still here in the jungle. So he can fill up that bottle, and they can just go full again here. It's looking good for them so far.
Yeah, the reset capability is on point. So Zephyronte here on the Sandwraith. Again, usually Squirry would play the carry, but I mean this team in general could definitely kind of go through roles, but Squirry is their Warbeast player, so kind of swapping it up a little bit right here. But now Sandwraith again in trouble, and this time with Parasite here. That Acid Cocktail comes out, but you see Parasite comes out of the creep quickly, and it helps assist for the kill. Voodoo Jester also in trouble, and he too will die. Parasite more than safe in terms of getting out of there from diving the tower. So they have just fully addressed this bottom lane now to the point where it's like, actually middle lane too. Oh, Deadwood goes down to Masera.
Yep. It's a very strong draft from Zlapped here. I mean, they really have the heroes to outplay them, and they are doing so far. And Zipper, yeah, he's gonna pick up the refreshment too. So it's a region top even for Riptide that he can go pick up. Behemoth is not moving for it either, and he also has an empty bottle, so everything is not going the way of the Legion side so far.
Yeah, it is funny because again, they gave them Tremble as the Hellbourne, especially, even though the first pick, but still giving that up is crazy. Yet here we are, a lead for Sync. It's not really Tremble; it's pretty much everyone else around him. And Behemoth is also going to be picked off here, as well. Tremble actually does get the kill for that one, but Riptide, of course, the big reason to thank for that, as he comes to the top with his Eye of the Storm there. So 5-0 lead, 3,300 goal lead. Yeah, nothing is really going good at all.
Bottom Zlapped did it. He didn't do it the right way though. If he didn't want to get slowed, but it didn't matter. Slowed enough.
Oh, I thought
and Sandwraith as well.
Sandwraith, though, they can turn maybe right here as Behemoth comes in. And yeah, that's going to be a kill onto Moraxis right there as he goes down. Parasite also picked off. Warbeast, yep, he's going to be fine, I think. No, the auto attack, God. Andromeda's range is so weak, but somehow got close enough to get it off and at least take him with him. But still, 3 hero kills for the Legion side. That's at least something, and step in the right track.
It's very good for them. Is TSC doing what he does best, rotation into kills. He does that a lot for this team, and he's doing it right there, setting up free kills. That's huge for them. Especially because all of the heroes they killed have so much GPM. I mean, they give up a lot of gold compared to, I mean, Sandrift, Voodoo Jester gives up 150, so it's really a good exchange for them right there.
Oh, Riptide gonna be fine, as walks around. As bottom lane though, Sandwraith. So just when something went pretty good for them, Sandwraith again, it's even he figures maybe a little bit of an opening, not so much. I mean, he is managing over 300 gold per minute still. I gotta say I'm a little surprised at that, being 3 deaths, but
it's the hero kills that they just got. He actually has 27 creep kills, but he needs to sit back and just get the experience and wait for his team to get items that can buy him some time, and then just pour it in with his ultimate. That's all they can really do for him. That's how you should. That's how Sandrift lineups are the strongest. Just pour it in with the ulti if you get manned up on, and then you get your farm that way. Get a kill here and there.
Oh, Riptide. This is a haste rune, and that seems like a pretty dangerous rune for him to have. He doesn't have his Eye of the Storm up. Meanwhile, in the jungle, look at that. Squirry goes down. He gets found right there, and actually Voodoo Jester also going to be found. Speaking of the haste rune, Riptide, he's like, yep, got a haste. He's going to chase down Voodoo Jester and eventually get the kill on a ham. So a very active start for Sync, as you would expect with their lineup. You were talking about that, and we got a 10-3 hero kill lead in their favor. 4,000 gold and 3,000 experience now. And it's like, oh, by the way, Tremble's farming very well at the top lane in the meantime, too, at 400 plus GPM. They have 3 heroes that are essentially 400 gold per minute already. That's 7 minutes in.
I'm surprised Taxman hasn't sent out his pet yet. He's just keeping it top. If he sends it into their jungle, it's just that much more map control. He can, I mean, and he will get gold for it with the assist and even maybe eventual hero kills too.
Yeah, where does he have it now? Does he have it?
He has top just AFK there at the camp. I'm not sure if he wants to stack for himself. Of course, it's
Oh.
not needed, honestly, because of like how it's been playing out so far.
Yeah.
But I think there's no reason to not send it down there just to maybe get the kills or even the assist gold. Anyways.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, he's using right. Okay, sending it back in now. What's this other? Okay, that's Parasite. That's right. I see a couple little dots just running around. They do have a Parasite as well, so he's going to just take this camp instead. But, yeah, I think that's what it comes back to. It's like it hasn't been necessary, really. Meanwhile, Andromeda, maybe the roam is getting a little bit too much here. As she was by herself, to be fair, and obviously that is risky. So Serenia getting picked off. I don't know if he's warding or what, but so he might have counterwarded there.
Axel's just below him, but it's the risk you take when you man up like this. And I think Zlapped should be down here too. I'm not sure where he actually is right now, but he should be there too with Maraxus, so that they can get some turn kills going.
Ooh, that's a downside, similar to a Moira or an Andromeda, something like that. The cast time on that cocktail is way too slow to use against a Maraxus. It's almost like you're better off just not even trying. Or at least use it on something else first.
Yeah, I mean, if you do not take cover that, oh, that's a bad go from Deadwood here.
Yeah, he's coming in, and now he's going to die as a result. He had his ultimate, but it doesn't matter. Sandwraith is also in trouble. That's a nice Fissure stun, but it just was too late. He shockwaves, almost out of panic right there, hoping that he can make something happen. Maybe save his teammate, but he was too late. And yeah, so I get the idea right there, but obviously it just all went to hell. And the lead is just getting enormous now for Sync Esports here.
That shockwave was almost... Maraxus lived with 2 HP and Trample had 10 HP after that. It was so close. I mean, if he got those 2 kills, he would be level 9 right now. Really close to his blink. That was unfortunate. Such a small play that would have made a 3k swing, I think, or something like that. That's gotta sting.
Yeah, it was a good attempt, but just out of range for max damage. So, and in the end, the tower also goes down. And again, the start, it's one thing to have a snowball start with heroes like Riptide, and it's like, okay, well, at least we can kind of come back from that. Tremble, though, the fact that he's also doing very, very well is the thing in the back of the head, no doubt. That's a little scary here for the Legion side. So I was going to go about Sandwraith, so especially with the game that we have here. It looks like he even is going the Energizer, but I was going to bring that up. I mean, can he risk going Mock this game still, or does he kind of have to just build quicker?
I think you have to go for that. I mean, hope you can get kills without dying at this point. I think that's the way to go. And go for the mark either way. It's not gonna do too much damage, but I think it's just too good. If he gets it too late, of course, it's almost useless. Andromeda has Steam Boots even. And he actually picked up an Ironstone, so that's interesting. I think it's just the result of the farm he has. I mean, when Andromeda, 10 minutes into the game, has 1,000 life, then that's rough, even if you get the mark at 20 minutes after the start.
Oh. Sandwraith, he's going to be fine, I guess. But yeah, I've seen an Ion Stone, not a popular item at all, but Serenia, like I said, maybe it has just simply to do with the movement that they are constantly making, and has a little bit extra farm, might as well use it. Warbeast, he pops his ultimate as the face-off came out, and now turn kills coming out. I mean, all 5 are here for the Legion side, so that's to their benefit. They do get the kill onto Parasite. Rest, though, they're going to run. So that was actually a good job by Sync in that sense. They didn't feel like they had to commit to a fight right there. Instead, the rest ran out, whereas Parasite was the victim. However, to catch on a Riptide, and the train will continue. No, Andromeda swap at the last second, and she's going to be fine, too. And actually, now Voodoo Jester in trouble. Yeah. He's dead.
Yeah. He wanted to commit full out to get the kill. If they went for it all out, it would have been a 1-for-3 exchange, so I think the right decision was to not go there. But yeah, a little bit of the weakness of Voodoo Jester having that low range on his abilities.
Now the Stevens Tower middle, it's going to start falling here. It's definitely going to be a tower kill. In fact, the question is there going to be more kills? Oh boy, more Axis. Yep, they collapse on a Deadwood. That's at least him dead. Behemoth Fidget Stun comes out. He's going to block them in here, causing issues. But look at Tremble. He pops out the mouth. The Shockwave, good idea, but oh, is there a Curse Ground on him, actually? That's not going to be nearly enough damage. He's going to be fine, as he's still dodging here, because Deadwood popped back, actually. That's a little bit of a, maybe not a range buyback necessarily. I mean, this is actually working out for them pretty well as Andromeda goes down, but not so well, never mind. Deadwood's also now going to die again. Maraxus?
They get Maraxus.
Wow, the kite's real. finally get him. Warbeast is this fight's lasting that long to the point where he's able to get a second ultimate off even, and eventually get some kills there. But obviously the tower kill. I mean, Tremble staying alive. It's just still a lot of positives there for Sync in the end.
Yeah, they're just having a really difficult time getting to the point in the game where the heroes are really good. They are forcing these fights, or they're not forcing them. Sync are bringing them to them, and they have to fight kinda. And then, as I stated earlier, it's not gonna go well for them. They need more time to pick up the items they need before they can really fight with this team. They did make some bad goes in the bottom lane where Deadwood just uses ultimate to kill Andromeda, and then they fight after that, and then Riptide comes in with the Eye of the Storm, and they try and chase Meraxes down. It didn't work, and this fight here, I think they should have done everything to avoid it too. But they get a fight out, and that's what Sync wants.
13 minutes in. Again, the lead just continues to grow right here, and then he got a Tremble. He has a Mighty Blade. Of course, that could turn into either the Brutalizer or the Shrunken Head here, whatever he's feeling necessary. I think the Brutalizer's probably... I mean, Shrunken Head this game, again, it's always good against like a Behemoth and stuff, but... Is he going in here? Oh, that's Riptide. Can Behemoth dodge this? No, he cannot. It's like, you can't dodge it, man. It's eventually going to catch you, I feel like.
He's just trying to get the blink. He's so close.
Yeah.
500 more gold. They're going to need a huge shockwave just to get even in the game. And I'm not sure if they can get even just from a 2, 3, 4 kills in the advantage.
It does depend, like things like if Samurai stays alive and gets multiple of the kills, and that gets him towards that mock, you know.
For sure.
It's definitely possible.
With Behemoth, it's also always possible.
Yeah. He most certainly is one of those heroes, and goes back to speaking of God tier. He's on that list right now for sure. Very, very high tier picked hero. Voodoo Chester gets picked off in the meantime as Meraxes then walks away shortly after. Looks like the Arcane Shield even got a buff right there. So he'll take that. Matrax used to help with the kill. And he might be hanging around. By the way, him going the tablet, he didn't even go a portal key. Zibe passing up the PK here. That's kind of interesting.
I think it's because they're doing so well. Did you see how he used it mid lane?
Yeah, he pushes him forward.
But is it gonna work?
All right. Well, portal key or tablet right there. I mean, he's dead anyways, but that was a pretty greedy play. Didn't really have the teammates nearby to back him up.
I think they're feeling too comfortable here. Andromeda's getting caught as well now.
Yeah, they're kind of giving a couple of kills, and actually for Riptide also falls. This is pretty bad for Sync. I mean, they're still good overall, but actually, who said Riptide's going to fall? He turns it right there with the Eye of the Storm initially. However, he still is in trouble, going to get into the water. I don't know if it's going to matter, though. He's so fast in that water, man. He is going to make his getaway. Unbelievable. Meanwhile, in the background, Haxford eventually comes in and starts doing cleanup duty. Warbeast is in trouble now. Here comes Boris. We're going to see a net come out. Warbeast doesn't have an ultimate for another 28 seconds, so he's just simply going to try to walk this off. I don't think that's happening, though. In comes some more slows. Did he go with the neutrals? No. I think that essentially was a double tap, really, for Haxford. So, and the fact that, look at Sandrith. He really wanted this kill, man. He's still looking around, and now he's on the run. Oh, boy.
I think Riptide should have seen him.
Nice.
There we go. I think he was diving the tower there for Riptide, and then he used his Desert Curse of flying toward Riptide. He just toggled his Insanitarius and got 500 HP. I think he should have manned up on that, because he would have gotten it. He may have died for it, but if you get that 6-0 free streak, 500 GPM Riptide, I think that's worth dying for.
Yeah.
At this point in the game.
Yeah, you could definitely say that's a nice bonus gold and towards that mock, but obviously doesn't happen. And I mean, Sync's just not giving up, though. I mean, they're just gonna, they're almost, you can tell they're having fun with it for one, but obviously it's also working, and that's always the best combo there.
It is. Behemoth does have a blink now, so 25 more seconds for his ultimate, but they're still 13k behind. It's really rough, so yeah, let's see what he can make happen. He's been the playmaker so far. Every time they've gotten some turn kills, he has been involved.
See Tremble, that Brutalizer, 1,000 gold saved up even more, and yeah, he's doing Congo now. He doesn't have lifesteal, but I guess the Brutalizer and Boris able to tank it makes it possible here. He's gonna slowly do it by himself. There's no reason to believe that he is, if you're the Legion side, unless he's been missing for a while. I mean, that could be a little bit of a Q, I guess, but it's not even guaranteed either, so I don't think they're going to see this in time. In fact, double damage rune, that also happens to be a nice rune to get. Or is that just the Ions? Okay, it's only the Ion Stone one, but still, it's a little bit of enhancement.
You can actually use it from uphill there. So I'm not really sure about the range, but I think it's only like a 200 range.
Is the double damage rune still around? No, somebody probably bought it. Or maybe it was
It's the Iron
used.
Stone on Andro.
No, I know, but there was a rune. Oh, Riptide got it. Okay.
Okay.
He ends up bottling it up. Codex on Parasite. Oh yeah, we're going old school.
He needs a Lex too.
Yeah.
One shot. Oh, there we go.
I mean, if you're going,
It has a Grave Locket, so he respawns faster and then come back in the fight. I don't know.
Sackstone's actually pretty good against this Legion team too, with Dead.
Yeah, that's true actually. Yeah, that's a valid point. But I guess now he's assessing that he's so far ahead that he wants to have fun with it and fights a Codex.
Riptide wasn't even necessary there. Sandwraith, a couple of Brutalizer procs coming out. He just didn't stand a chance against Tremble. So if he even still wants to try to go for that mock, I mean, he's not even remotely close. And I don't know if that's changing. 6 deaths here. He's only got 1,100 gold currently saved up. You've got another level of Codex being bought now on Parasite. Tremble, he's going to have another tier item here in the near future. He also has that token still, of course, for the time being. So I think that's definitely proven to be the biggest thing. It's, again, the control. And obviously Tremble is a big part of that, too, with the mounds all over the place. But as a team, I mean, Riptide's great at it. Andromeda's a great support roamer. You got Moraxis, who didn't go a portal key, so I still find that a little odd as far as not having that impact.
Sure.
But still, it's worked out beautifully, of course, in the end. So, and then Parasite. Yeah, this is just a very active team, and they're playing it near perfection here. Save.
Yeah. It's a little bit like BMG sometimes when he buys items. If he's doing really well, he buys this kind of YOLO item, and then it kind of keeps the opponents in the game because it's not having the incredible impact that another item could.
Yeah.
BMG also sometimes they go like what's it called, Geobane, Puppet Master, or stuff like that. Hill Magnus. You see some crazy stuff. They're really far ahead.
Assassin Shroud Parasites.
Assassin Shroud. Yep, exactly.
That's what tells it good. Meanwhile, Voodoo goes down. Here goes Behemoth. Only solo shockwaves a Moraxis, though, and that's definitely the worst target you could probably do it on by yourself. It's just, again, just being desperate, reaching, trying to make a play. It just ain't happening. So I assume 2-0 is going to throw in the towel here soon as far as moving on to game number 2, because this is now a 20,000 gold lead, a 21,000 experience lead, and we're only 20 minutes into the game. By the way, so no matter when we were in the game, to be fair, I mean, this lead would obviously be pretty damn large. But they're still hanging in here, at least for now. I mean, Tremble, he's going to be hit there by the Ask Cocktail.
Be a 5-man shockwave here, but oh, he just
used it, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I don't see the comeback, so yeah, we'll have to.
Or you can do that still. You can jump in and fissure stun, but see the swap out. Riptide's actually is getting low here, but the teammate's dying around him. Riptide is going to be able to TP out, it looks like, and heal up and should be fine as the rest clean up, staying around. So
Triple died, but he has token, so yeah.
Coming back up, and now he has a Shrunken too that he just got delivered.
Also another thing about the hero, it's always hasted. Like, you can never run from it. And if you're trying to juke it, he just puts up another mount with himself or the pet, so it has so many pros and so few cons.
He really does, yeah. The double attack is so beautiful on him.
Yep,
what was it before? I'm actually blanking now. What it was? I know, because that got changed a while back. God, what was? Oh, it was the slow. It slowed you. When
it just had a slow,
yeah. Yeah, like had a lifesteal, I think, a little bit of lifesteal.
And then the pet had it too.
Yeah.
I found it very interesting that the past they changed it, trying to nerf it, because every time there was a mount you couldn't kill it. But I don't think that aspect of the hero has changed anymore. Like it always has the time to point in, and then you're just dead on the support. So you have to kill it with wolves from War Beast or something to be really safe. No one can really walk up and kill the mounts.
Yeah.
Like, there can always be a Tremble pointing in. So it's kind of interesting, because I remember they said that. I was like, we have to change this only 4 hits before they had HP on. So, but now the hero is just so strong that it does. If it has 4 hits, it's time enough to point in and kill you. So, yeah.
Yep, he's definitely on that list right now of ones that probably needs to be addressed here, but. Again, that is a never-ending cycle. Obviously, we've been through that plenty with many of different heroes. Sandwraith middle lane. He is going to go down as he popped his ultimate. I don't know if he ported in right there or something, but he did use his ultimate trying to get away perhaps. Obviously wasn't going to happen. Eventually gets killed off, so not too sure what the mentality is like for 2-0 right now, but again, this is getting to be one of those games where it's you kind of feel like that they should know that this is probably over by now.
Yeah.
They're insisting.
I think they're just trying for it. They want that huge shockwave. Like, they want to try for it. They still have the racks, so they're actually further behind than I think they are.
Yeah, that's very
Makes
possible.
sense.
Yeah. Well, is that a level 5 codex, by the way? We can't check right now. But he just bought a Ring of the Teacher now, so something tells me he might even max out the codex here.
I'm not sure, it could be. Yeah.
He has 460 gold per minute, and that's really all he has, other than the Grave Locket, I guess you could say. But
Yeah, he hasn't bought back either, so that might be.
I think it is at least level 3, probably level 5. There's that Ring of the Teacher, so nice to have one of those too. There we go. He comes out and gets the easy kill, and it is a level 5 codex.
Yep.
Showing it off.
That would try to deny the tower. I think when you make those plays and you're not, I mean, why stay in the game? There's 2 more games to be played if they win the next one. This is a draft issue. Like, it's not that Sync just complete. Yes, they played better in this game, but they also set themselves up to win. And the Legion side had, I mean, you can't win all drafts. Sometimes it happens that you lose a draft and you have to get on from that. I think they're sticking in this one a bit too long.
Well, another kill very likely going to be happening here. Yep, Sandwraith going down. Moraxis actually could have used the Matrix to get the kill, but I think he was actually allowing Macera to come in there and either just simply get the kill, but also at least get some kind of benefit from it. So, a little bit of teamwork there. Yeah.
Going for it.
We can risk doing that, though, of course, as there finally goes the middle tower now. Just kind of dwindling away at it. Obviously, Zlapped in that Ballista. They don't have an Alkbones or anything like that, so he can sit in that comfortably. And that's going to be a melee Rax. He's just going away at it. They can't stop it.
It's not really good. They can kill the Boris a little bit with the Voodoo as a cocktail. That's it.
Yeah, kill that Boris.
Yep.
And then he'll spawn another one.
Yep.
That's a great strategy, too. You know, being able to net and then spawn another Boris and net right after. It's
yeah, exactly.
Lockdown that he can have.
So strong. I think the pit, that could be enough. But the pit shares, like if you summon a new one, it shares the cooldown of the last one.
Yeah, that could be one way to do it for sure. Yeah, I mean that was one of those points. You can kind of tell it with the conceit like that too. It's they were talking things over and trying to figure out maybe where we belong and preparing for
what happened this game. Yeah.
So.
It's nothing against Pixie or something. Sometimes it just happens that you lose on draft. I mean, honestly, it's a common thing. It happens, and you can't win everything. And I don't think they should put too much into this. Yes, there were some fights they took so that they could have not taken and done differently, but it really is a draft issue, this game, and I think they will do better in the next one for sure.
Yeah, and don't give up Tremble could be part of that too.
Yeah, true. Also, yeah, well played from Sync. They capitalized. They had an idea, made the man-up work. They tried to be really sneaky with it. I'm actually surprised that they actually got the kill Bloodlust down there. So even if since 2-0 knew that they were down at the jungle with Andro and Parasite, it could have been a case where Voodoo could have moved right away just to make a rotation happen. That could be a move that they could have done. And I'm not saying it's that would have changed the whole game, but that could maybe have helped a bit.
Yeah. Well, they need to change something here for game number 2 because obviously Sync Esports not only winning that first game, but doing it in pretty good fashion here. They're looking strong and looking like they're ready to make the playoffs here. So 2-0, we're going to have to give it 100% effort, no doubt.